Mm, 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 mm. What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Ethan the Alien, back on the planet Earth. What is up? We got our own personal music. I don't know if you heard that, but that was a special remix. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna get there. I just gotta learn all that good stuff or find someone to do it. One of the two, really. Um, but anyways, so we got a couple of announcements today. We got two announcements today, which is pretty cool. Uh, First one is the Twitch Trenham is considering a series for Just Ignore It, Please. Dude, when he told me that, I was so geeked when I read that message. I I probably I probably peed myself a little bit. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. It was a really good story too. So I was really looking. I was really hoping that it would be a series. So now that he's considering it, super excited. Hope he does. And then also another Twitch Ham announcement. He has a new story on his Buy Me a Coffee account. I think that's what it's called. If I took the note down correctly. Uh, so pretty much, from my understanding, there are stories on there that are his also. Uh, the thing about these stories though is that they are connected to a thing where, yeah, buy me a coffee. So it'll take you to like another link, and it has this post to where it's all these other stories that he has on here, and all the other stories are free. Um, all he's really doing is just having this account for his savings account for his daughter. So yeah, so like you have like an option to like donate, so you can read the stories, donate to the account, and it's just all gonna go to his daughter's savings account. So hell yeah, dude. So go to his buy me a coffee account. It's in his Reddit uh link page bio with his YouTube also in there. Go check that out. Go follow him on there. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he probably has a Twitch, so or he probably just does it on YouTube. But anyways, go follow his YouTube. Go on his Reddit. Follow him on there. Read his work. Follow him on or go show him love on the Buy Me Coffee. Show him love on the Reddit. Show him love on the YouTube. On all of it. And yeah, we're just yeah. That's all the announcements today. So thank you again for Twitch Traham for all the support and love, man. And today we have a cool story. This one is by Bad Andy the Red or Badandy the Red. I guess however you really want to say that. Heck yeah. So this story is called. Sorry, I lost it for a second. Okay, here it is. I bought an old doll as a birthday gift. Now it's speaking to me and it knows the truth. So I'm really excited about this one. And yeah, let's just dive right into it. I don't know what to make of all this. It all seems impossible. Last week I was just looking to buy a gift for my mom, and now I'm reeling at the revelation that spirits could be real. I'm reeling at the yeah. Uh, sorry, had a slow moment. Worse still, that they could be merciful, malevolent, and everything in between. I have to try and determine if the spirit I found, if indeed it really is one, is helpful or harmful. From what I have seen so far, the truth of the answer is connected to the truth itself. or rather one's ability to preserve it. I will tell you the truth of what I found, and maybe you can help me figure out what I should do with this thing. This doll that spoke to me. I've I have to do something because the more I learn about its true nature, the more dangerous it seems. It began with a simple task. I was out looking for a last minute gift for my mom's birthday. I should not have waited as long as I had, and I was running out of time. I had a very busy work schedule and did not have much time to look for something. Every time I ordered online for her gifts, I could tell she was a bit disappointed. She had very eclectic taste, where I have no idea. There's no way eclectic. All right, bro. Going to safari. You already know, baby. Since episode one, we're not even that deep in, but since episode where I typed in Safari, that's crazy. Eclectic definition. It is ideas, the deriving ideas, style, or taste from a broad and diverse range of sources. Okay, okay, okay. She had very eclectic tastes, and I knew she would appreciate a more thoughtful gift that I had picked out in person rather than ordered from Amazon. To that end, I resolved to check out some of the antique shops and other outlets near where she lived. It was a small town, and I was not sure what I would find, but I figured it would be better to check there and find something rather than going to a larger store for something more generic. After striking out at a few locations, I found one that looked interesting. The place was called True Antique. It seemed it seemed like just the right kind of store to find something she would like. I stepped inside and was assailed by a musty smell, mixed with a faint aroma of mothballs. I wondered if it had been a while since they cleaned up, since everything seemed a bit stagnant. Antiques, I figured, are supposed to be a bit old and musty. Not out of place, I guessed. And not out of place, I guessed. An old smell was fitting. Oh, okay. Sorry, another slow moment. If not a little difficult to, I had to reread it. If not a little difficult to stomach, I moved into the store and began looking around. Yeah, that was a little. That end of the paragraph was a little bit slow for me. Sorry about that, brother. I found a few trinkets here and there, but nothing stood out at first. Then I saw they had a selection of old timey porcelain dolls. My mother had a collection of those since she was a child, but she lost most of them at some point in the past and only had a handful left. I knew this was something that she would like, so I grabbed one of the two that were on the shelf. The doll had a fine layer of dust on it. I brushed it off and examined the features. It wore a miniature Victorian era blue dress and had a light brown hair, a well painted but almost stern looking face. As I held the doll, I felt a strange sensation of my mind wandering. I almost fell into a vague, bro. There's no way that's a word. Fugue. That's crazy. I've never seen that word in my life. That's what I love about this so far is all these new words I'll be finding. So there's a music definition and a psychiatry definition. I feel like we should do psychiatry one. A state or period of loss of awareness of one's identity, often coupled with flight from one's usual environment, associated with certain forms of hysteria and epilepsy. First, I'm about to have a seizure mid aisle or in the middle of the aisle. Yeah, definitely not that one. So yeah, it was the psychiatry one. Where was that in the door? Yep. Okay. Like, I almost fell into a. Oh yeah, how do you pronounce that? Pronunciation. Fayug. That's crazy. When I wonder. Yeah. Okay. So it was fugue. Fugue. Okay. I almost fell into a fugue-like state for a moment, like I had suddenly become so lost in thought that I might just stand there for hours before I found myself again. I broke out of my stupor and considered putting the doll back. Something about holding it made me feel strange. I looked at the other doll. It wore a frayed yellow dress, had a curly red hair. Its face had almost pain expression along with the hairline crack and made it a little less appealing. At that point, I had decided my mother's favorite color was blue, so I pushed back my earlier reservation and decided to buy the one with the blue dress after all. I walked up to the front of the store, and an older woman with white hair and thick glasses approached me from behind the counter. She placed both hands on the counter and looked me up and down. Jeez! Then she adjusted her glasses and spoke. Ah, yes. Let's see what you have there, my friend. Oh, yes, that little one is a beauty. To be honest, it can be a bit of trouble. She slapped her knee and laughed at the statement and chortled for a few moments longer. I had no idea what was. Bro, there's no way I'm about to hit the Safari for a third time. Chortled. Look, bro. Look, bro. Not everybody. Not everybody's vocabularies like you. Laugh in a lengthy breath, gleeful way. Chuckle. That's what she was doing. Sound like a motherfucking door. Uh, I had no idea what was so funny about the word honest or how a dog could be trouble. For a moment, I was worried this had a name and backstory for these dolls that I would have to sit through, or some history lesson I did not have time to take in. She must have seen the confused and concerned look on my face, and she composed herself and continued. Yes, well, sorry about that. Anyway, I am sure you and Matilda will hit it off. A truer friend there never was. At least if you can handle that truth. And of course, if you can treat her right. She was nodding her head at her own words as she was not even talking to me. I was starting to get the impression the shopkeeper did not give any customers because she seemed a bit awkward with me or with people. She suddenly turned back to look at me, bruh, almost as she remembered I was there and was not talking to herself. And flat, bro. Hold on, she was looking at the wall. Bro was Bro, she straight cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That will be almost if she remembered I was there and she was not talking to herself and flatly said, that will be $115. Would you like a bag? $115? Hold the fuck on. I balked at the price and was about to try and haggle when she read my intention and immediately spoke again. She is a rare and very valuable antique. Though I will admit she did cause some trouble for the last people who'd bought her, so just for you, I will let her go for $80. That is my final offer, though. I have to make ends meet after all. She smiled again, though not at me, but at the doll on the counter. The whole encounter was feeling a little bit creepy, but I figured I would take the offered discount and get out of there. I agreed to get the bag, and the shopkeeper rev. I agreed to get to the bag, and the shopkeeper reverently wrapped the doll and warned me to be careful. She is as fragile as some people's self-image, and as free-spirited as an and as free-spirited and open as the truth. I thanked her and left, pondering more of the strange words she had mentioned about the doll. I thought she was then. I thought just then that I would spare my mom the weird backstory and just give her the doll for her collection. If they were supposed to have some personality, I could always direct her to the store so she could talk over the doll's backstory with the odd shopkeeper there. I made it back home and spent a bit of time getting some housework done. It was getting late at that point, and I was getting ready to turn in for the night. I was going to wrap the doll in a nicer box or bag, but I did not have the energy just then, so I decided to get some sleep. I looked at my phone and I saw it was almost dead. I also saw I had a notification that the new phone charger that I had ordered arrived. Before going to bed, I checked my porch for the package that was supposed to have been delivered from Amazon. I saw it was missing, and I cursed out loud and sighed. Can't believe I was gonna say laugh. This kept happening. I swore whoever was selling my packages was going to get what was coming to them. I went back inside and heard an odd sound. It almost sounded like singing. It was coming from the room where I had placed the doll. But when I had walked in to check, there was no sound at all. But when I walked in to check, there was no sound at all. I stood there in silence, questioning my mental state. As I waited, I heard another sound, almost like someone whispering something. I could not quite make it out to what I could not quite make it out, but it sounded like someone trying to say something, just very faintly or very far away. I looked around trying to see if I could find the source of odd whispers, then I realized the most likely scenario was the most obvious. It must be the doll. The doll must have had a voice box or something. I did not think porcelain dolls could speak, but it would not be impossible to hook one up with a voice box so they could. I pulled the doll out of the bag and voice crack was crazy. I pulled the doll out of the bag and looked it over once again. I was not certain, but it almost seemed like its expression had softened and it had a hint of a smile on its face, where before it looked moody and slightly upset. I brushed off what was likely me not remembering how its face really looked earlier and tried to inspect the thing for a string, button, or some device that would be linked to an audio box. I looked around for a few minutes with no luck, then I tried something I did not suspect would work, but I gave it a shot. This I gave it a shot all the same. I said out loud, "Hello?" There was a long pause, just long enough for me to feel silly for trying to talk to the thing. I was about to put it back when I was shocked and completely freaked out when a voice did respond. Hello, my name is Matilda. Nice to meet you. The response itself was not what had bothered me. What made me concerned and uneasy was the response had come from an audio box in the doll. Oh, had not come from an audio box in the doll. The response seemed to come from no obvious source at all. In fact, it seemed like it had just popped into my own mind, like a thought had been willed into my own brain from another entity entirely. The intrusive thought or greeting almost made me jump in surprise and drop the doll. I tried to compose myself and investigate the phenomenon further. I summoned the conviction to return the greeting to the small figure. Hello, Matilda? There was another short pause, and then again a response seemed to come into my mind, without any real audio cue in the quiet room. Will you be my friend? Oh, hell no. I was stunned by the telepathic discourse I was having with the tiny doll. I considered I might be hallucinating, but I had no idea what could have caused these type of vivid and intrusive voices if I was. I also felt uneasy at the fact that the voice was in my head and yet was not and yet was clearly not in my own mind. I spent so long contemplating my own sanity that suddenly I looked back at the doll and it was painted face and the painted face at the doll and its painted face had shifted again. Now there was a look of profound sadness on it, and I realized I had not answered its question. I figured I would play along and told the odd thing, "Yes, yes, of course I will be your friend." The answer almost immediate that the answer was almost immediate that time, and I had heard the voice practically shout back into my head, "Great! That is so great. Thank you. I promise I will be a true friend to you if you are always true to me. I can see many things, but I will not look into you, only speak to you, because you are my friend and I trust you." The doll had some interesting perspectives, and I had to learn more while the psychic conversation was still ongoing. I was so fascinated that I resolved to keep talking at least until I hopefully woke up from the bizarre dream I must have been having. I asked the most pertinent questions first. "I'm sorry to be so direct, Matilda, but what are you? Are you a spirit, a demon, or some other thing that could inhabit the body you currently possess?" There was another long pause, and I wondered if she was thinking about how to respond. I started to worry since I had seen too many scary stories of haunted dolls. I did not believe strongly in the supernatural, but it would be just my luck to find a doll possessed by some soul, my goodness, by some soul devouring demon. She had finally come up with her answer and replied, "I am me, just Matilda, I think. I do not know what I am, besides a doll. I think I am. I think I have always been this way. I remember not having a sister, and she was a doll as well. Or I remember having a sister, and she was a doll as well. I also remember someone else, but it is blurry. My memory about myself is not the best. I remember it is my job to see things in others, to see the truth, to help my friends." I felt a bit better at the Ben Ben Bennigan Bennigan response beginning. Benjin Ben Bro, there's no way this is a word. Benig. Bro, there's no way that's a word. Benign. Bro. Gentle and kindly. Bro, how? Benign? Benign? Bro. Benign? Are you serious with me? I felt a little bit better at the benign response. Bro. I've never. That's crazy. So overly evil behavior to fret over. I chuckled to myself at the absurdity and impossibility of the situation. I must have found one of the more run of the mill psychic porcelain dolls. The insane conversation was cut short when I heard loud music start from next door, and I groaned out loud as the crazy situation was affected by a more mundane annoyance. My neighbor was at it again. Every Sunday, had people over and played music so loud and so late it kept me from getting to sleep till well after midnight. I worked an early shift Monday morning and no matter how many times I told him to try and keep it down, he just kept at it. He would pretend to listen to play placate me to placent not placent. That's crazy. Uh nah bro. I know I probably know this word, but I don't think I've ever seen it in the written form. You guys ever had a word like that? Like you guys have like had a word that you've said for sure. Oh, placent. To place me. Placent. Like we're gonna look at the definition too. I was just looking at the pronunciation. Make someone less angry or hostile. To placent me or just ignore me completely. I called the cops one time. It was particularly bad, and he has been more hostile to me ever since then. I sighed and was not sure what to do this time. I had to get up even earlier than normal since I had to get the flowers for my mom's birthday tomorrow. My frustration was interrupted by a soft, gentling prodding into my annoyed mind again. Sorry, I thought that was gonna go somewhere in sense, and I just didn't. I had to spend a moment. Uh, Out of moment, out of moment. Moment. If you know, you know. What's wrong with my friend? You seem upset. Sorry. What's wrong, my friend? You seem upset. I just got so caught up with the other thing, I was making myself laugh. I was surprised and then remembered I had been talking to a sentient doll again. I had figured I had asked my questions of her, so I may as well share my frustrations with her as well. Why not? Since now she was apparently a friend. It's my neighbor. I have to get up early tomorrow, and he's always inconsiderate on Sundays with the noise. He has parties over there with extremely loud music till, well, whenever midnight. After whenever at he has parties over there with extremely loud music till, well, after midnight. I'm just tired and I need to get some sleep. Matilda responded, Matilda replied with a request. Would you bring me over there? Maybe I can help. I almost laughed out loud at the prospect of bringing a psychic doll. I almost laughed out loud. Sorry. Excuse me. I almost laughed out loud at the prospect of bringing the psychic doll I had brought as a gift from my mom's birthday over to my neighbor's house to tell him to keep it down so I could get some sleep. My dismissive tone was noticeable, and I swear I saw her look sad again. And I swear I saw her look sad again. I decided if I was already in a crazy dream, what could it hurt to indulge the curious new friend of mine? I walk over towards my neighbor's house, still in my robe and sweatpants, holding the doll in one arm against my chest with her face pointing out. Like a ventriloquist, I had the doll. I, or what? Like a ventriloquist that had just rolled out of bed. Oh, got you. Sorry. Before we had made it to the door, Matilda spoke into my mind again. This is close enough. Thank you. Please wait a moment. I stood there on my neighbor's lawn, confused and still holding a doll which was physically there, but somehow felt absent at that moment. I was embarrassed and hoped nobody would open a window, and just then, me standing there looking like a lunatic, the music had stopped, and I was afraid that it was, bro. Let me get a sip of water real quick, fam, because oh my word, am I just stumbling over my words? And I think I also need to slow down. My brain is going so fast. I need to. Whew, okay. The music had stopped, and I was afraid that it was because they knew was outside. But I heard nothing indoors at first. Then, after a moment, I heard shouting, and there was some sort of argument going on indoors. I was about to get closer to check when I heard a familiar voice speak into my mind again. Your neighbor is a liar. I don't like liars. So many secrets, deceptions, lies. I looked and I saw things. He kept the relationship with another woman hidden from his girlfriend. She knows now. She's not happy. She will leave soon and he will follow her or sulk. He will not feel like partying for the rest of the night. My friend should have some peace and quiet for the remainder of the night. I was astounded by the doll's declaration. I could not believe it. But when I inched closer to the window, I heard shouts and screams of an obvious argument between my neighbor and his girlfriend. She's just a work friend. It's not what you think. Come on, Cindy. Really? Are you just gonna leave over a misunderstanding? A loud slap was heard after an appeal, and after his appeal, and an icy response of "Fuck you, Glenn." Dang. Then the front door swung open, and I fell back and toward the side of the house to not be seen standing there listening in on the exchange. After a moment of sitting there in the grass by the window, I was unsure if I should stand up and leave or stay a moment longer. Then I heard more coming from inside. I heard objects breaking and yells of anger, followed promptly by sobbing as my neighbor Glenn went through the entire emotional range of getting dumped. Though I admitted that it sounded like he deserved it. Oh, though I admitted that it sounded like he deserved it, then I considered my situation. I had to ask the immediate follow-up question to my companion and look down at the doll I was still holding. Matilda's painted face now wore a wicked smile, and she was clearly proud of what she had done. I had no idea what just now had she, oh my goodness. I had no idea just how she had done it. I asked her directly. What was that? What did you do exactly? She replied instantly. I just told the truth. I told her the truth. Glenn is a bad man. He lies a lot. He is also a thief. In his garage are 3 boxes. All of them are deliveries that were dropped off at my friend's house. He stole them from you. You should get them back. I was speechless. I could not believe the doll had done so much and could see and manipulate so much around her. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I wasn't gonna brain fart that also. I was fumbling for a response when I heard the garage door open and I saw my neighbor's car exit the garage. Matilda was right, and he was going after his now ex girlfriend. When the car left, I had an idea, and I raced to the side of the garage, and after he had driven off, I snuck under the door before it closed. I had to know for sure. Matilda was right. 3 Amazon boxes lay in a corner, all addressed to me. I don't know why he had taken them. Maybe just to spite me for calling the cops that one time. Whatever the case, I had no idea how she had known about that. Could this doll read and influence people's minds, as well as talk into them? Whatever the case, I was dumbfounded and just managed to mumble a response of thanks. Thank you, Matilda. I looked down at the doll, and her eyes were closed with a large grin on her face. Her voice came back into my mind with an acknowledgement of anything from my friend. Also, if you would like, I could do more. Now that I have looked inside, I can reach him. Based on his current emotional state and his doubts he has about his life goals and oh, hold on. Based on his current emotional state and the doubts he has about his life goals and aspirations, there's a good likelihood that I could influence him to crash his car in a fatal manner and remove him as a nuisance completely. Would that make you happy, my friend? Bro, me and dude had the same response. My jaw hung open and my heart sank as I processed what I'd just been. Bro, what I had just heard. I looked down at the doll with dawning horror at the brutal suggestion it had just read it in my mind. The wide smile never left its face, and I remembered the trouble that the shopkeeper had mentioned with the doll's previous owners. I had no idea what I had gotten myself into. I tried to calm my mind and not let horror and implication of Matilda's suggestion color my response. I did not know what she was capable of just then, but I feared if I disappointed her, she would turn her power on me just then. I told her flatly, no, that will not be necessary. I got my boxes back, and it is quiet. Thank you, Matilda. Thank you again, Matilda. I think I have to. I think I need to have a drink and lay down for a bit. Hopefully, I will not wake up in a room with padded walls and find out I'm as crazy as this night seems to indicate. I walked back to my house and went inside, retiring for the night with my new friend. Yo, fire! So, um, dang. So I'm just reading all the responses. So I guess I could have read them out loud. So someone said, okay, so you need to stay on Matilda's good side, it seems. Ask her before you give her to your mom as a gift. She might take it as what that as betrayal or something otherwise. Yeah, it's true. Um our girl Matilda loves you. She's a loyal friend and you have to treat her like gold and don't give it to your mom. I don't think Matilda would like that or live with that, whatever this person's trying to say. Probably like that. Um like with that, live with that. It's probably live with that, but I don't think Matilda will like it. I think she's a friend, not foe, but I definitely would upset if this is what they're seeing or me. Oh yeah, so also this is a series. Just in case I didn't say it before, this is r slash no sleep story series by Bad Andy the Red or Badandy the Red or I feel like that's how you can really read it is either Bad Andy or Badandy. But yeah, so this is a great story. I'm so excited for the next part two of this story. Obviously, it's gonna be part two of the story. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. I hope I did a good job. If there's any guys, make sure you guys leave a comment below, rate on Spotify, follow the Instagram, follow Badani the Reddit. Go show him some love. He has more work. Go show him some love on his Reddit page. Badani the Red, thank you for the opportunity to post this. I'll make sure to send you the link. Um, Thank you for everything, guys. For everyone who's listened, for all the support. Thank you for all of the just everything you guys have done. I really want to make this my career, and I want to take you guys with me. You know, all of us go. Everybody get the love. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you follow the podcast, and I'll see you next Sunday for another episode. Thank you again for joining us on Ethan the Podcast. Love you guys. Bye. I need the outro music.